Oh wait, somebody pull up the chat.
Yep. What's good, everybody? It's your boy NYCDaFuture. Welcome to the Online Nation. Happy New Year to everybody, man. Whew. It's been a crazy year last year, man, but into the new year, man. 2018, January 1st. What's good, everybody? It's your boy NYCDaFuture. Welcome to the Online Nation. Happy New Year to everybody. Yo, I hear like an echo. Whew.
I turned on the
oh, that's why.
Catch the chat, but
2018, January 1st. Good, everybody. It's your boy NYC.
Hey, what?
Yeah, excuse that technical difficulties, but yeah. Happy New Year, man. Get the co-host on the show, DJ Gonzo Star and Venom. What's goody?
What's going on?
What's going on?
Oh man, Happy New Year to y'all fellas, man.
Same to you, Brody.
Happy New Year to you too.
All right. First, let's get to the shout out, man, section, man. Man, oh yeah. First off, it's Online Nation, man. Everybody knows us from the blog talk radio stuff, but we here now on the YouTube thing every Monday nights at 8:00 p.m. Eastern. So we usually do this for like 8 to 9:30, maybe 10 o'clock sometimes, depending if we have guests. But most of the times 8:00 p.m. Eastern. So for the new year, 2018, it's usually me, myself, NYCDaFuture, DJ Gonzo Star, Venom, and a little Spaz 57. So definitely
Spaz is hiding.
Definitely. And shouts out to Sage Infinite. He still has that that song that he put out for me like 3 years ago, I think, man. So props to him, man. The rapper, man. He's definitely doing good things. And of course, man, like we always do, man, SimNation all day. Dejar, definitely stay tuned to him, man. He has his SimNation hangouts every Friday nights. What time is it? I think it's like 10:00 p.m. Eastern most of the time.
Yeah, it's 10. It's at 10.
Yeah, 10:00 p.m. Eastern, man. It's definitely a great, man, show, man, all the time. So definitely, you want to know more about basketball, 2K, anything, man, life, man, just definitely follow him on Twitter. Of course, Big Mama, of course, SimNation President Lady. Who else, man? Who else we got to talk about, man? It's a lot of people, man. Crazy Girl 84, what's up? I saw the thing on Brian for the Forbes guy, and he was talking about the 2K ladies. Like it's not that many. I've seen a couple of 2K ladies that's good on 2K on Twitch, but I haven't seen actually Crazy Girl playing. But from what I hear, that she's a good 2K baller. So definitely be on the lookout for Crazy Girl 84. What y'all think about the 2K ladies, fellas? Like for the 2K League thing.
I think that we don't see a lot of them. I think a lot of that is just due to the sexist nature that is video gaming as a whole. That they're not overly respectful to women coming in and trying to make their way through or earn their spot, and it's pretty misogynistic if at the end of the day. But I mean, if they got stick work, you got to let them in. If they can show you that they got stick work, you got to let them in. But they're going to be they got to work twice as hard as we do as men to get noticed.
Okay. What's your opinion about that, Gonzo?
I think it's a good thing you got ladies involved. I mean, considering that like pretty much basketball gaming is majority a male sport, pretty much. It's male community. I mean, it's kind of a great thing to have. We actually have women that are involved in it, and are pretty good, at the game and know the game of basketball.
I asked about the 2K ladies, man. I remember what was it last year that 2K. Remember when 2K has that thing when they get like a community of people, and they got a 2K. Well, she doesn't play 2K, but they got a lady that plays FIFA, I think, or something like that. Y'all remember that?
FIFA? Nah.
It was some kind of game.
No,
they got her into the community. So I'm like, is it about popularity? Like, do you have to be really good at 2K? Is it about looks or anything? Like, you know how politics is, man. Like, as long as you have a good following, it doesn't really matter about the skills. If you're a lady, if you're a girl, so. Y'all think it's gonna be politics with it involved?
There's always politics. We're talking about online anything. There definitely always will be politics in the midst of everything as a whole. Just because, like you said, you need a following, and I mean, realistically, you don't want to have anybody on the forefront that look like a foot either. You know, ain't nobody really gonna pay attention to him. You look like a foot. Like, all right, man, where you find this ninja, man? Get him out of here, dog. What is that? Oh, okay, my bad. Going to follow for Spaz in the chat.
Spaz in the chat. Let me check the chat out. But yeah, what do you think about that, Gonzo?
Oh yeah, it's always politics. I mean, involved. You got to think about, man, anything dealing with online community, and especially when it comes down to money, there's going to be some politics involved. Meaning that they're going to have to, they have to draw as much viewership as possible. So to get some females in there, that might help to gain some of that female viewership. You know, they really have to choose a variety of different people, you know, to get involved, because, like I said, they're trying to sell. And, you know, believe it or not, when it comes down to competitive gaming, it's always about the dollar. And that's probably why we'll probably never see microtransactions and things like that go away from NBA 2K. It's probably going to be really, really heavy next year, because so many people, it's not only just competitive, but so many people they're into online gaming now. And it's about, like I said, getting those characters up. It's about making money in the online, the big tournaments and the pro-ams and things of that nature. So, you know, it's always politics dealing with money. I mean, it's just the way of the future now with gaming, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's gaming in general, though. I mean, because not to tell our age or anything, but, you know, back in the day, you used to have to grind out characters and things along those lines. But this generation of gamer no longer want the microwave effect, kind of like with fitness or whatever, right? I don't want to work to get my character up. I don't want to work for abs. I don't want to work for muscles. I want to find them jumps tomorrow. I don't want to do all the extra stuff and earn it and feel like I'm grinding. No, I don't want to do that. Let me go ahead and spend this extra $50 and get, you know, said money so I can upgrade my character and be the best person out there for the time being until everyone else grinds up to that place and exposes me for just being somebody that was able to pay to get themselves up. Pay to play is the way to go now, because you got the kids that are always going to go out and do it. I mean, I told the story when I bought 2K, went and bought it in line, and kid bought I think he bought, not the Legends edition, which one was the $99 one? He bought the $99 one, and then his dad bought him like $200 worth of VC afterwards. And this is before the game even dropped. You know what I'm saying? So no one's picked up the sticks. No one essentially has played and done anything. But this joker has spent $200 on VC because he wants to get an edge up or a leg up on the competition. Lo and behold, he's probably very trash right now and get busted because everybody has gotten you know what I'm saying, they done grinded their characters up to where they're competitive, but you know, it just doesn't make any sense to me.
Okay. What do you think about that, Gonzo?
Like I say, you know, I'm not much of, like I say, of an online gamer, but I mean, like I say, online gaming as a whole now, like I said, it's about money, but I'm scared about the pro-am. I want to see the results of this pro-am thing, and I'm scared because if you watch the video the other day, I think Sam Fan put out, he talked a lot about the My Team games, and he showed how there's a lot of glitches in it. So that kind of hurts the competitiveness of the game. So think about somebody who's spending all this money in the game, and they go out there and lose to somebody who knows how to cheese the game so bad with a garbage character. You know, it's just that's the part that really irks me the most about it, I guess. But like I say again, I mean, it's all about the dollar sign right now. So that's.
Well, they're supposed to have
not
another
really about grinding
for the 2K league. They're supposed to have a dedicated They're supposed to have a dedicated, not server, but a dedicated game for that mode specifically. I mean, they haven't given us any details on how well it's gonna play, or how different it's gonna play versus what we have out of the box. But I'm assuming that tournament standard would be a little bit different than what we have here as regular consumers. Especially considering that it'll just be that mode. We don't got to worry about them playing any kind of other head-to-head outside of just them playing league games against one another or practicing. So I'm thinking that the environment will be better. And I won't say less. I'll use the term less cheesy in the sense of like when you learn a game and you're a quote unquote professional at the game, you learn what really works versus what doesn't really work. And it's kind of like the people that play fighting games, like they have it down to a T to where they're hitting their one frame links. They're doing all of the extra stuff, EX combos and things along those lines that your average person doesn't have the execution to do. So I guess it'll be cheesy in the aspect of the casual versus the pros, but I don't think that it would be cheesy in the sense of what we see online consistently. I think it'll be a difference there.
You know, that's a good thing, a good point that you talked about fighting games. I saw Hollywood Sports. Shouts out to you, man, Hollywood Sports. He be on Twitter, follow him. He talked about the skill level about Madden, and then I tweeted him back, talked about how, because I saw the Operation Sports the other day when people were saying like, man, that somebody could just pick up, like, say somebody just picked up the game today or Christmas Day, right? And somebody could buy NBA 2K, right? And be the Cavs, right? And they can play you that or myself that's been playing for years, right? Or just play this game since, because it's a new game, 2K18 since, when was it, September? And somebody can pick up the Cavs and beat you. Like 6 times out of 10, they can beat you out of a best of the 5. But in a fighting game, that's not happening. If I just buy a fighting game right now and I go against an expert in the fighting game, I'm gonna lose 9 times out of 10. Like, that's just a fact.
Except for in Street Fighter 5. Okay. Shout out to Street Fighter 5 because they messed up the game, and I can say that because I'm not a sponsored player.
But yeah, man, I used to play fighting games a lot, like Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, all that stuff. But I know that you have to know the combos and everything. Like, it's a lot of skills involved, and with 2K, it's like, it's kind of random sometimes. I know it's basketball and it's a game of runs, but it's just so a difference in terms of skills, honestly. Like, somebody can just pick the Cavs right now and just go with LeBron and just drive and get a foul almost. I don't know. I think it's kind of fake sometimes, man. I don't know what do y'all think about that?
Bum friendly. That's what it is. It's bum friendly, and it's bum friendly because it has to be to reach out to those consumers. Because as far as people purchasing the game itself, Future, you are not going to purchase that game every year, no matter what they do to the game. Like, that's just what it is. And Live's out now, so I can honestly say that I'll be purchasing that every year, no matter what they do to the game. But you also have to make the game accessible to the casual. And they dumb the game down itself to where stick skills doesn't matter as much. And because they do that, that's how you get that 10-year-old kid to come in and pick the Cavs or pick the Warriors, and you're taking half-court shots with Steph and you're hitting 60% of them because Steph has a 99 3-ball or whatever the case is. But you have to – it has to have a balance to it. If they were able to implement something like the fighting games, like you said in Tekken, I know for sure that a bum is not beating anybody that know what they're doing. If you come in there and you don't know what you're doing, you about to catch these hands and move on to the next match. But they haven't found that sense of balance of sports games. They even dumb Madden down that much to where people are. It's just bum friendly. I'm gonna chuck up a streak to the fastest receiver that I have, and 8 times out of 10 he's gonna come down with the ball.
That's a fact. I'm looking at the chat right now, man. Shouts out to Lil Spaz 57. He's grinding out for his Pro-Am wins, man. 50. Everybody knows, man. It started last night. 50 games. So if you're listening now, man, 50 games for Pro-Am or Pro-Am walk-on, and then you get to qualify to the next round in February. And shouts out to Sam I Am, man. Big man Sam. Yeah, 2K is 2K ready for E-League, man? Well, yeah, they call it the NBA 2K League. So I know the whole thing, they mad at people saying on YouTube, like, call it the NBA 2K E-League. So it's just called the NBA 2K League. And I hope they are ready, man. That's all I'm gonna say, man. I hope they are ready, man. I'm definitely can't wait for the opportunity. I know everybody's grinding about it, man, and a lot of people are just focused and trying to get their wins. I got 9 wins so far, but I thought it was gonna be easy, like really easy getting 50 wins, but it's a little grind because you have to have a certain amount of players to be online. Because playing with randoms is crazy, and you know that, Venom.
Man. Oh, Lord, man. That's why I'm not playing right now. Look, if I could show you my screen, it's a blue screen, and I'm waiting on somebody I know to get online so I at least have a shot to play.
I know Gonzo will retire 2K. Is that right?
Yeah, man. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. Like when it come down to like I say, with randoms, man, the problem is with the online. It's the problem with people that play basketball, even at randoms or at your rec center. Everybody wants to be the star.
Right.
Nobody wants to just do what they're good at. Like people create people will create players who are like good defensive wingmen, and they don't even want to play defense. They rather shoot threes. Like, dude, that's not even what you didn't even make that type of player, but you want to be the scorer. Like, stop.
Oh man. Would you be a point guard,
you know that?
Gonzo?
No. Actually, the character I created on 2K is only rated like a 71. Like I said, I just played it through the prelude, and I played it for a little bit after the game came out. But I got a stretch 4.
Okay.
Get in prime.
But like I said, I'm not going. Like I said, I won't be playing Pro Am. So I mean, I'd rather see what you guys gonna do in Pro Am.
Yeah, man, it's a grind, man. It's a grind, and I wasn't really into Pro Am. I like the crew thing. Remember when 2K had the crew?
Yep.
What year was that? A couple years ago.
13. It was 12 or 13 that they had crew in it, because that was when they had the. I think it's when they did the rec center too.
Okay. Yeah, I like the crew thing, but I just didn't like it because the servers was always messing up and dropping all the time. So yeah. I was like, all right. And then the Pro Am came. I don't know what year was it, 2 years ago, whatever. But I was still heavy into the head-to-head scene, like playing for money and tournaments and stuff like that. But like recently, like a year ago, like the end of 2K17, I'm like, okay, let me get focused to this Pro Am stuff, man. And it's a great community, man. If you look on Twitter and everything, like it's a lot of Pro Am leagues and stuff like that. And it's amazing of how the community is growing, man. It's props to them, man. But I'm just kind of mad that 2K don't have a private matchmaking for Pro Am yet.
I think that's in the works, though. But I thought that they were saying that they didn't do it because they didn't want third parties coming in and taking some of their money away from them, setting up their own tournaments and whatnot throughout the year or what have you.
I don't think that's good though, because that's hurting their product in the long run if they just want to be. I don't want to say they're greedy, but man, we keep it real.
Go ahead and say it. They greedy.
For tournaments, man, that's the only way for it to build. Like like Street Fighter, they have tournaments at different everywhere, man, house and stuff like that. Like you have to expand, and for it to expand, you have to have private matchmaking for Pro Am, man. You just have to. Yeah,
that's hurting it, in all honesty, because even most of your fighters, and even in Madden, for lack of a better term, you can invite somebody to a game or invite a team to a game and kind of go from there, and that's something that's missing in general. Going ham.
Okay.
That's constant in 2K basketball. You said one thing that's constant. Stamina loss.
Stamina. Shouts out to Kushmir too, man. I saw his article, man, the other day, man. It's a good article. I don't know if y'all seen the article yet. Did y'all see it?
Nah, not yet.
You saw it, Gonzo?
Yeah, I'm here. No, you know, I saw the article.
What do you think about it, man? Because I think it was definitely spot on, man. Spot on. He definitely.
Yeah, it was. It was spot on, man. Kushman, I'm not gonna lie to you, man. Kushman writes some good articles, man. He really does. He points out stuff, the stuff that I've been saying all along, bro. And what I like about Kushman, he kind of he might tell it in a more intellectual way than I do. So I'm kind of I'm kind of raw with it.
You said kind of.
Like I just flat out say, yeah, I flat out is a lot of bullshit in 2K. Kushman doesn't say that. Kushman says it in a more intellectual way that the devs might take, you know, what he has saying into consideration. You know, I mean, but like I said, he's pretty much saying the same stuff that I've been saying. You know, I mean, and I kind of appreciate articles like that because it finally lets me know that I'm not crazy. I'm not just making stuff up. Because I'm gonna tell you what's happening is that, and I guess what I hate more than anything, man, I hate when people are biased. Like me, I'm the type of person like this. I'm gonna tell you right now, if my mom is wrong, I will let my mom know she's wrong to her face. You look, that ain't right. That's not cool. That's wrong. I still love you, but you wrong. Just like I tell the next person, hey, that's wrong, bro. That ain't cool to do. And they just have to be mad at me. I'm cool with that. I'm cool with being solo. I'm cool with you being mad at me, not talking to me no more. I'm fine with that. The average person is so biased. Like when I read stuff, people say, "Oh man, this is messed up in live," and I say, "Hold on, wait. That's messed up in 2K." But man, that's 2K though. No. Don't give me no excuse that that's 2K. The fact of the matter is that both of these games got this problem. And honestly, you should be harder on the game that's at the top. Because hold on, if you're at the top and you still got problems with a game that's just came back out again, it's been deleted twice, pretty much the game has been stopped twice, and it's still suffering from the same problems this game is, and this game got a whole lot of stuff that actually kind of works better than 2K. And 2K so-called at the top, and they still suffering the same stuff. Nah, bro, you don't get no pass from me. No, not with the amount of money you make, not with all the microtransactions that you get. That's how I feel, you know. But like I said, Kushman just kind of opens up and gives that revelation, bro. And even Sam fam, they point out stuff that I've been saying for so long. Gideon Prime, they point out stuff that I'm saying for so long. And what I like about those three is that they don't cut 2K no slack. Everybody else cut 2K slack. Because guess what? Everybody wants to be so down in the community. Everybody want to be down with 2K. They want the devs to look at their YouTube pages. They want to be accepted by 2K. Let me tell you something. I don't give a fucking 2K don't accept me. I don't give two fucks. And you know what? And there's no disrespect towards them because I'm going to tell you this right now. I don't think it's Scott OG and Azar. I don't think they got nothing to do with the problems that 2K got. I actually believe if they put them at the forefront, the game would be a whole lot better. Because let's be honest, they got two of the greatest basketball minds over there at 2K. Everybody else probably don't know shit about basketball. Ronnie 2K might be 6'8", but I bet you I can ball Ronnie 2K out probably. Ronnie 2K probably can't even hoop. Like talking to Scott OG and Zara, I'm looking like, nah, they know what they doing. Nah, they know basketball. So I respect those two. Let's not get nothing twisted. There's no shot. What I bring out about 2K is no shots towards them. It's no shots towards them. I don't ever want nobody to get that misconstrued to get that twisted. No, it's not them. I believe if they had their way, they can make it that way. The truth is, I believe the higher ups are more concerned with microtransactions. I believe people like Mike Wayne, he's so busy putting out polls about shot meters. Dude, you talking about a fucking shot meter, but the gameplay ain't even fixed, bro. Like, look, screw this shot meter. Fix rebound. That's the shit that need to be fixed. Forget the shot meter. Fix pass. Forget the shot meter. Let's just talk about your AI teammates doing what they're supposed to do and stop being so fucking stupid at times. Like just running out of bounds when I'm trying to pass them the ball. They just decide to step out of bounds and give you a turnover. Like that's little things like that irritate me. Fix the speed. Because there's no reason why I'm at the free throw line about to make a layup with De'Aaron Fox. And meanwhile, some bum center like Tristan Thompson, which Tristan Thompson's not a bum. I don't want to say that about him, but He ain't catching De'Aaron Fox. I'm sorry. De'Aaron Fox is probably one of the third fastest players on 2K. He's not running from half court and catching De'Aaron Fox and about to make a layup just so he can get a block. No way. I'm not trying to hit it. It's like respect speed, because that should be respected. Weight, height, and size should matter. Suctions on screens, that should not be happening. But I'm not blaming them. Like I said, I'm not blaming Zara OG, but it's just like they worried about the higher ups are worried about the wrong stuff. Look, if you build a right game, you might take a loss the first year with the casuals. But I can almost guarantee you, if 2K is such the great basketball game like everybody wants to claim, I can almost bet the following year, due to the fact that half the people won't even try live and it's somewhat decent, they won't try it just because it's NBA Live, because it's got the title on it. So year 2 of NBA 2K, they'll be back with all their money to make all the microtransactions you need. They'll make up for that. They'll make up for the year they didn't pay for it.
Yeah, but can you blame the kids?
Most people
not jumping on.
I mean,
or not
yes.
Giving it a try.
Like, what you mean? Blame for what? When it's $10, you mean to tell me you can't spend $10 on that, but you'll spend all this money on microtransactions, building up your character 2K, and then get on there with a guy with a 67 in defense and he can spam steal you. Come on, bro. Like, you know, it's like everybody wants to be 2K's attorney. I ain't trying to be 2K attorney. I'm trying to be the defense for basketball. Plain and simple. Like I said, you can say what you want to. Live does allow players to get to the basket a little easy at times. They do. It's better than 2K's. The rebound is better than 2K's. The shot meter on live is better than 2K's. There's no debate about that.
The shot meter? Nah.
It's better than 2K shot meter. It's better than 2K shot meter.
I think it's easier, man. I played the demo. I never played a real game yet, but I played the demo, and I felt like it was easier. So it might be better.
And then people say, live shot percentages are real high. Bro, I play live all the time, bro. I have yet to shoot over 55%. It's hard to shoot. It's not, I mean, it's easy. Don't get me wrong. I mean, it's easy in the sense that if you're wide open, you make more. I get that. But when you go into a cold streak, it's really hard to hit them. You're not making no perfects when you're cold. It ain't happening. It's almost impossible to hit those.
Okay.
I think there's a difference within the amount of jump shots too, because live doesn't have. I mean, and that's a byproduct of the game not being out for those number of years and getting the animation. Because at first, I was tough. I was extra hard on live for the idea that EA makes X amount of millions of dollars a year, and why don't they have these animations? Not realizing that they are just a subdivision of EA that works on the game. So that made sense to me. But the jump shots in general, because they have all your superstars have their jump shots, hands down, but the role players all pretty much have the same similar shot. They do.
Can I ask you a question? So that's the part that kills me, because we know that live hasn't came out. They've missed a couple of games. They canceled one. They missed a year and a half. They kind of came with a new development team on this one.
Right.
And the game isn't a bad game, but nobody's willing to give it a try. But meanwhile, 2K has all the signature animations, signature dribbles, signature shots for even the bench players. And meanwhile, the ball's still going to people's chests. There's no defense. The rebounding still sucks. But you're okay with that because they have all the personal signature things, huh? You can accept that because, you know, I can deal with the shitty gameplay because it looks like NBA.
No, that's not what I'm saying at all.
That's crazy.
What I'm saying is that we are comparing two games that aren't on the same wavelength in general, just because there are a lot more layers that are built into 2K that aren't available in live just yet. Live itself is an easier game to pick up and play than 2K is. There's a lot more stuff that can go wrong, and a lot of that is just due to it being so animation based. Live doesn't have the same amount of animations. Because they don't, it then means that things seem to run smoother. With them running smoother, they look a little wonky because they're missing set animations that you feel like should be in a basketball game as a whole. As far as my gripes with the game itself, it feels like it's missing some of the fundamental things. It's like there's a sense of lag in anything that I do. I see a skip pass, that's where I want to go with the ball. My animation is 2 or 3 frames behind it, and I end up throwing the ball out of bounds because it's not as responsive as it should be. Does this happen to me in 2K? Sure it does, but I call them both out for what it is when it happens. And I think that's kind of the thing too, that you come after me as if I give 2K a free pass. No, I don't give 2K a free pass. I play the game more. I play 2K more because I enjoy it more than I enjoy playing live, definitely. But we should still be critical of both of them, not just.
But I see what you're saying, but I don't hear that criticism from about 2K like that though. But like I said, the main people I'm hearing the criticism for 2K about is the same old people: Gideon Prime, Sanfan, Kushmir. Who else can I name? Even I'm gonna be honest with you, NYC don't say it as much, but he can agree with the stuff I'm saying. Like, yeah, he see it. He admitted it at least. Most of the community ain't going to admit it.
Stream. You must not watch my streams then, because I'd definitely be going in about the rewarding me for playing good basketball, et cetera, et cetera. Like, I call the game out for what it is. It's just a matter of whether or not I'm going to allow it to ruin my experience itself. Because playing both games, I would still much rather play 2K because live frustrates me to no end because of those core things that are missing from it. And like I said, it's not a bad game by any stretch.
But see what you just said? You just said that no matter what goes on in 2K, you're not going to let anything that happens in 2K destroy your experience. I feel the same way about NBA Live. Yeah, it's a little easier, but it's not really an easy game. On Superstar, the computer plays like a monster. And it ain't always at the same quarter. Everybody's saying, oh, the computer always storms back in the fourth quarter. No, they don't, because sometimes they might kick your ass in the second. They might kick your ass in the third. Sometimes your first quarter, you might get bust wide open. So it's happening at random times in the game, whether it's scripted or however you want to see it, because I think all sports games are scripted to a degree.
Definitely.
It's happening at different times in the game. 2K, I know when the computer finishes. I know when the CPU about to cheese me. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, too, like I said, I can deal with that in NBA Live. And the fact of the matter is that the ball not going through too many people's chests. The rebounding seems to be decent. The passing needs work. I give you that. The passing needs work, and some of the animation needs work. But I'd rather deal with that, and I ain't going to let the few things I see in NBA Live destroy my experience neither, because from what I'm seeing more ball. I don't even like using the word ball tangibility, but it seems it seems to me that
Gideon in the chat, you got to use it.
It seems to me that ball tangibility matters more. It seems to me that height and weight matters more. I can take right now, and I've had this problem on 2K. I've had this on Superstar level and Hall of Fame level. I could take one time I was playing with DeMarcus Cousins, bro. I swear to God, this is on Hall of Fame. I had got a mismatch with Chris Paul, bro. I tried backing Chris Paul into the post, bro. Chris Paul was like a 7 foot, 300-pound nigga, bro. This nigga was like an anchor, bro. I couldn't even move him. I'm like, what kind of bullshit is this? But I can honestly say on live, bro. Let me get somebody like a LaMarcus Aldridge, and I got Chris Paul. Well, I can back Chris Paul down and give him a bump. And then once I bump him, hit him with a drop step, hit him with a hook shot, hit him with a bank shot off the glass. I can actually do it. It's like his weight and his height meant something when he had that mismatch. I can take advantage of that. So don't get me wrong. For those who rock with 2K, I'm cool with y'all. Y'all rock 2K. I'm not mad at y'all. Play the game. Because like I said again, when 2K get good again, I'll definitely be purchasing it. But right now, it does not warrant any more of my purchases. The game ain't good. In my opinion.
Hey fellas, we got Kushmir on. What's up, bro?
What's going on, fellas? Y'all in here getting it in, man. I was listening to y'all dropping all this knowledge, all these facts in here. I was like, hey, let me holler at the kids to see what's going on with y'all over there.
Hey man, in the words of the song, man, you probably got your internet service working, man.
Nah, man, you know, I split it between my guest house and this house. And so I think sometimes it you know, the bandwidth doesn't, you know, is just kind of funny. But right now, nobody's in my guest house. So I think I'm all right. So what's going on though? Y'all good over there?
Yes, sir. All day.
Yeah, I hear my boy Gonzo going in just heated right now. I'm gonna go ahead and send him a chill pill right quick. You all right, Gonzo? Don't let your blood pressure get up there, man. You know I got love for you though.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, man. Yo, we was talking about your article, man. Great article,
For sure. I really appreciate it, man. Let's be honest, like anything that we do collectively sometimes is the product of stuff that each of us has put into the community. You see what I'm saying? I'm not coming up with anything original. I'm seeing the same stuff you guys are seeing, right? You guys are chiming in with stuff and it's inspiring me to say, you know what? Yeah, this is something that needs resolving or whatever else. So when I put out a piece, I feel like you guys contributed to that, to be honest with you. I'm just putting it in words.
Man, you put in a lot of work, man. Man, rebounds and everything, man. Like, how do y'all feel about just everything? I seen the video and all that. It's crazy.
Yeah. Let me say this, and then I'm gonna let these other guys talk, man. The rebounding, kind of like I put in the piece, man. And Gonzo can kind of speak because he plays both games. I don't. I don't play live. Sue me for that. I just don't feel like the product is kind of where I need to be. I want to play the product at the top. Sometimes that product is not a quality product, right? 2K this year, 2K is always going to be a good game from a casual sense, but what it offered this year for the hardcore players and future, you know what I'm saying, for online players from a strategy standpoint, it's really important. If you play online games, if you play multiplayer against other people, you know how important balance is. And if it's games not balanced, the top tier players are going to abuse any exploits during the game. Okay, they're going to figure them out first week and they're going in on you. But what I wanted to say was the rebounding was something that I had never seen in 2K. I'd heard about it before with old live. People said, "Oh, this live was struggling with rebounding," and so it was something that was like French to me, man. Like I literally sat there and I didn't even know what to do for like the first 2 weeks that I was dealing with it. It was like, it's so alien to me to have that kind of core game breaking. Let me say that again. That's a game breaking issue. That I didn't even know what to do, man. I put the game, and this is not a diss on anybody, but I put 2K down in November, man. I put it down in November because I can't play competitively. You see what I'm saying? Think about that. I played for what, 2 months? So yeah, that's my 2 cents on the rebounding, man. I had never seen anything like it, bro.
Let me ask you a question. Have you played Pro-Am this year?
No, me, I'm basically play now online player, right? I'm a big Sixer fan, so I like to get in there and play against other teams. I thought about playing Pro-Am, but from talking to people who I trusted, I know there's a lot more moving parts in Pro-Am, and the cheese tends to be worse, is what I've heard. Okay, I don't know from experience. And if it's worse than Play Now Online, that's not something I'm interested in,
Okay, all right. I definitely understand because I play both now. I'm heavy into Play Now Online for years, man.
For sure.
I'm probably not getting to Pro-Am. It's definitely different. I mean, it's still cheesy, but I think head-to-head gaming right now is a little bit more cheesier than Pro-Am because Pro-Am is like everybody's human players, so it's like feels like a real team thing. But I see what people are saying about it.
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, I can't speak to it because I haven't played. I have to talk to guys like you, guys like Nelson, guys like Doom. Those are the guys for me to have a lot more expertise and a more honest point of view in terms of giving you, how the game is,
Okay.
Well, I just got into the Pro-Am scene, man, and it's different. It's definitely different. I'm a Play Now online person myself, and I struggle with the idea of not having control. Like that just throws me off, that I'm only controlling myself and I have 4 other people that I have to hope make the right decisions. And
yeah,
it kind of it gives back to playing with randoms. You hit the randoms, and like Gonzo was saying earlier, don't nobody want to be a role player. Everybody wants to be Michael Jordan, Bird, Dominique Wilkins Jr. reincarnated, and it makes the game that much more difficult. And even still, I think that playing with people that you know instead of randoms may make the game a little bit easier, but in that same breath, it's still going to have those elements of everyone wanting to be the superstar versus just filling a role itself when it's supposed to be a team game.
Right.
But I do think that they're trying to phase out the online head-to-head modes in general, just because there's more money in our Pro-Am and our Myparks and everything that has the word my in it, has those microtransactions that's going to allow for us to spend extra money to max out these characters. And it's unfortunate because I grew up playing with real teams and full teams and not trying to figure out how I'm going to control my one player and still dominate the game or make sure that I got the right amount of people on.
Yeah. You know, let me say this, Future. I've heard that too. He's not the first person I've heard that from. You know, I've heard. I don't play Call of Duty. I tend to play more hardcore shooters, but I heard a guy make an analogy saying that the deathmatch in Call of Duty is like what all the OGs play, all the old school cats, all the people who've been playing for a while, right? So that is kind of the mode where they're not really trying to progress it a whole bunch. They're not trying to do a whole bunch to it. And so people have equated Play Now Online to that. Now, I've seen kind of token improvements. So I won't say it hasn't been touched, but I've heard that analogy. The logic makes sense. I hope that's not the case because I don't have any desire to do any of the mods. Like, I'm just not into that, you know. I used to play Team Up. That was extremely fun, but kind of like he mentions, you know, it's a challenge, but it's also a good challenge where you're getting in there and you're having to kind of integrate with other players. You know, it's a good challenge. But I would be extremely disappointed if, you know, 2 or 3 years from now, Play Now Online is being phased out. It's they're not doing anything to kind of improve the mode. Yeah, that would be extremely disappointing to me. Extremely disappointing. I would have no reason to play.
Well, you know how I feel about that, man. I really feel like these past couple of years, man, 2K's been really focusing on the Pro-Am, I'm not mad about the Pro-Am, but they've been focusing so much on the Mypark, my team and stuff like that. And like, pure example, man. I don't know if you're gonna talk about this in your article, your later articles, but about the leaderboards. If you see the Pro-Am, they have the leaderboards, how it's the elo system, right? So it's not about the most games played. It's about who you beat. And if you have a good record compared to Play Now Online, it's just about the most games played. So 2K does know how to fix the leaderboard with the elo system, but they don't care about it for Play Now Online. And it really gets me mad, man. I'm like, come on, man. Like, how can somebody have a record of 1,000 wins and 3,000 losses, but they could be number one because they played the most games? Like,
I know you've had an issue. Yeah, I know you had an issue with that for a while, man. I mean, you've talked. I mean, this is not an original conversation. You talking about the elo system. You know, you brought it up for years. So that's I hear that part of it. It's not that important to me. I want to get good games in. I'm usually like the first month, I'm usually ranked up there pretty good. But I play enough games. I don't mind. Like, if I lose a good game, I don't have a problem with that. You know, to me, it's more about the experience. But I hear what you're saying. That has value too. People get in there, they want to see how they stack up against other people. There's nothing wrong with that.
They need to change the tier systems as well. That junk is irritating, man. So the
what would you like to see from that standpoint? I got a question. Like, you played Play Now Online. What would you like to see from that standpoint, man? Like, with a tier system?
the part that bugged me the most is when we first got on. I think it was last year that they introduced it, or maybe even 2K16, where you got access to the historic teams, the Hall of Fame teams, or what have you. You got access to those teams after you reached a certain level in general. So it meant something to grind to that level. There's no reason why, fresh out the box, you should be able to play with the all-time Lakers and play with that team the whole time all the way through and mess around with their matchmaking system. I'm the all-time Lakers, and then I'm playing against someone in the top 100 or whatever the case is. Like the matchmaking itself needs to be tweaked. The ranking system for the teams as a whole need to be tweaked. Like we should have it. It was fine the way that it was before, when you had tier 1 for the top tier teams and updated throughout the year. And then when you got to, said, EuroLeague, et cetera, I got access to my historic teams. There's no reason why I should be looking at tier 2 and I'm looking at the 1991 or 89, 90 Pistons. Like, I just don't see that being anything that's viable for us here. I think that's more or less of something offline, more, or not even offline, but friendly matches versus the ranked idea of playing.
Right.
It just doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah. What did you think, Future, about it? Like, is his take your take, or?
With the tiers thing, yeah, I feel the same thing, but I take it a step further. Like what's the point after the greatest of all time? Like, I wish there was more of a incentive in playing out online. Like, it'd be like some kind of rewards or stuff like that. Like, there's some incentive. So after the greatest of all time, right? Then what? Like, that's it.
Yeah.
Hey, where do we go from here?
Right. I guess I understand it from a business standpoint, where you don't want to lock people, because here's the thing, Future, you're going to play 100 games online. I'm going to play 100 games online. Everybody here is going to play 100 games online. You have a lot of casual players who are not going to do that. And so they complain about getting locked out of portions of the game. You see what I'm saying? I hear you. I definitely agree with that. But you don't want to lock consumers out of portions of the product. You know, they don't have to grind to play this portion of the product. My bigger issue is, I just feel like all the classic teams should be playing against each other in one queue. And I preferred it, kind of like you guys mentioned, when there was 5 tiers of teams, right? You know, what was that? 6 teams in each tier? Yeah, 6 teams in each tier. I prefer that. My biggest issue in Future, you've heard me say this for a while, and I think you agree with it. I think anybody common sense agrees with it. I've always felt like what online offers, especially with the roster updates, is variety throughout the year, right? When the year started last year, Joel Embiid was like a 77. I used to play games. I used to tease my boy. I'd be like, "Hey, you need to hurry up and get these games in with me, because you know Embiid ain't gonna be a 77 very long." You know what I'm saying? So, and it was true. You know, I beat him like all year long. Then after Embiid got better, I beat him even worse. You know what I'm saying? So it was, and this year it was, all right, you need to hurry up and get these games in before Ben Simmons ain't gonna be a 79 very long. And you know, the same thing's true. But so what happens is, you know, you get into a situation where, well, I'm sorry, what I thought was most important is, yes, if I'm a tier 5 team, like if I press a button to stay in my tier, I have the ability to do that. And it's funny because I'm the one who made the suggestion. So I felt guilty. When I told Czar, I was like, look, they need to make it so, because I was get the Sixers in 2K16. Dude, I was playing the Cleveland, Golden State, like every game. You know what I'm saying? And those dudes wouldn't be better than me, but that was the first year where you really started seeing the talent disparity. And I remember some games, like I remember one game, my worst game ever. I think dude probably blew me out by like 30 with Golden State. Dude, I couldn't do nothing. Like literally just, I was just shaking my head. But getting back to my point, I just feel like, hey, yes, I can have that where I can stay in my tier, But if I press the button to play anybody, it can be a team from any tier. Now, that doesn't include the all-time teams. They should be in their tier all by their lonesome, by themselves. But that variety of playing in any tier, if you so choose to, is important because it keeps the game fresh, just like a roster update does. You see what I'm saying? Whereas, you know, if I'm a tier 5 team, I'm playing against the same 4 other teams. And like the Sixers are real popular. You know, you got a lot of these bandwagon dudes trying to jump on the bandwagon for the Sixers. So I can't tell you how often, and I know you guys agree with me in this, playing in your tier ends up being mirror matches. Like, if I never play another mirror match, it'll be too soon. Like, if I never play another mirror match, I'll be okay. Like, give me the option to avoid mirror matches. I will wait longer in the queue. I have no problem doing that. It's not authentic to me for one team to be playing the other.
I definitely agree on that, man. And the problem is that, you know, with the options where it says default and then it says tier 3 or tier 4, but the default thing doesn't do what you suggested about playing any other team.
They didn't have time to implement it, unfortunately. So
yeah, they didn't implement that. So Gonzo, do you play Now Online anymore?
I haven't played. I traded 2K about a month or so ago, so I haven't played it.
What was your biggest issue, Gonzo, man? Like,
I'm gonna tell you it's the one thing, bro. It was the rebounding, bro, and I had sent a few videos to a couple of devs, and bro, I'm talking about, like, it was one instance, man. I think his name was Stice from Boston. It was Tatum. It was Rozier and Aaron Baines. It was 4 guys around the basketball. And Enes Kanter stuck his whole hand through Aaron Baines' chest and tipped the ball to himself. But when he tried to tip the ball to himself, Terry Rozier came and jumped through Jason Tatum and snagged the rebound and put it back up for a layup and scored. And that was the game winner. I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
2 times they went through my guy's body. No, these are just offline games. Now, online, I'm going to tell you my biggest problem online on there. Okay. I played against a guy like a month after 2K came out. Sure. I had the Boston Celtics. I was at home. He had the Rockets. Bro, he double teamed and trapped and spam stole the whole first quarter. Chris Paul had 4 fouls. James Harden had 4 fouls in the first quarter. He never subbed him out the whole game. They didn't foul out, and he did the same thing with those 2 the whole game.
Yeah. I'll say this, then I'm gonna set up for a little while. The spam stealing and the double teaming is a non-starter for me. The spam, let me repeat that. That's a deal breaker for me. Future, you've been playing 2K a long time. Okay. You know, 2007, we had issues with double teaming. This is not anything new. Like I put in my piece, or like I'm in one of the articles down the road. That's one of the reasons when they give you the profiles of people, they show you how many times people double team because they know it's been an issue. That is a deal breaker for me. I'm gonna propose something, and I would like you guys, you know, if you deem it to be worthy to support it, I'm proposing a community project this year where we focus on. We understand they can't fix every legacy issue in one cycle. Okay, it's just not realistic. We have to understand that. But where we do a community project where we come out with maybe like a top 10 list, we come up with a cool little catchy hashtag, you know, fix these 2K or 2K fix these, or I don't know, whatever, right? Where top 10 lists, let them choose which legacy issues. The long passes, the spam steals, and what did the Gonzo mention? The double team. Well, the rebounding as well. Yes, those are non-starters for me. Like I only played the game about a month and a half, 2 months this year. I will sit. Those can't go forward, right? Now, I don't know that they're going to be able to fix everything, but those are game-breaking issues. The double teaming, it's so funny because Future, you know, I put that piece out today where I showed you, like, look, I know what exploits. Anybody who plays the game knows what exploits you can use. You know, I was playing my boy. It was the last possession of the game. You know, Harden was getting the ball. I let the AI defender get on his right side. I got on his left side. I just spam steal because I knew the game wasn't gonna call a foul, right? So he got trapped in the animation. He ends up throwing a turnover, right? And that's like a savvy player isn't gonna do. See, the guy you played, Gonzo, he's a rookie. Like a savvy player, a player who knows how, he's not gonna use the stuff he knows until it's too late, until you don't know what's coming. See, you can game plan against that. You can say, okay, well, I know he's gonna do this. No. A true savvy player will wait until there's nothing you can do. You see it. He'll only use it when he needs it. And so those issues to me, I can't go. Yeah, 2K19 can't happen. I'm not mad. I'm not cursing at anybody. I'm not anything. But I'm just telling you, I won't waste my time with the game if those are going forward. It's been too long. The 2007, it'll be 2K19. So it'll be over 10 years that the double teams have been an issue. Can't go forward. Cannot happen again next year.
No, I definitely agree. And remember 2K6? Remember when they had the VIP system with the feedback, where after the game is done, you get to put like I forgot what it was. It's been a long time, but the feedback, and then it is so in the VIP. What was it called? VIP set, and it's so like 94% on ball defense and 90% jump shots. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do.
I think they should bring that back too. Also, that was definitely important with the VIP thing. I definitely agree with what you said, though.
What they would need to bring back in, and it makes me think of Madden in general. When I think of like Mud or something, that would help with the monotony within the play now online ranks, is if they added in, you know how in the Mud seasons you start at the season and then you play until you get to the playoffs and then it resets. I wouldn't mind looking at something like that. Just the idea of I'm going to play 10, 12 games or whatever, and then I'm going to get to the playoffs and play another whatever amount of games, and then I'm going for a championship, then that could be added into when it's all said and done, like some sort of reward for doing so. I don't know what kind of incentive we can enlist for winning a championship, but that would help instead of just, oh, I won 300 games and I lost 76, but I'm still in greatest of all time. So what now? If it resetted itself, it would give me something else to look at and to work for versus being like, okay, I made it, now what?
Right.
Yeah, I definitely agree on that. What do you think about the NBA 2K League, Kushman? I know you heard about it, right?
Yeah, I mean, the game's not right. Like, if that's let's be honest. If they get good, savvy players in there, it's gonna be unwatchable. It's gonna be unwatchable. You know what I'm saying? Like, the game is broken. It has too many core foundational issues to be in any kind of high level competitive setting. You know, it's what it is. Like, you can't seriously play it competitively. I mean, I guess those games will happen and like people will win and lose, but it's not going to resemble basketball in the least.
I don't think most competitive games from a sports perspective have that. It makes me think of Madden, where if we're like what is the thing called? We have the 32 teams playing now, and everyone's trying to get to that big payday or whatever the case is. But if you're watching those MUT games, they don't simulate any kind of football whatsoever. You're looking at the same community defense, community blitzes, community offenses, and things along those lines, big plays and everything else. And I don't know how realistic it is to think that we're talking about video games and someone's not going to find some sort of, I guess you can call it what it is, an exploit to be on top within the game. So the only saving grace that I hear is that supposedly it's going to be a different build than what we have out the box. It's a service that's going to be dedicated specifically for Pro-Am. And hopefully that means that they make some tweaks somewhere, but Who knows? We won't know until what, April, May, when we can actually see what they're doing.
But I definitely agree on that. Do you think that it could grow a big fan base, Gonzo?
If done right, absolutely. I mean, I'm not gonna even say if it's done right. I think that Kushmir is probably the only one, like I said, one of the few people that I hear say stuff like, if it's not right, I'm not purchasing it. And he sounds very convincing that he's not going to purchase it if it's not up to par. Most people, man, they can see the problems with 2K and they're still going to buy in. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, with all the problems in the game, people are still investing money and lots of time into it. So I don't think it's going to be affected at all. I think that it would probably have to be it would probably have to be a situation where well, they almost kind of get rid of once they fix the gameplay. I think a lot of people are going to I think once they fix the gameplay, a lot of people are going to be mad that they fixed it because so many people have been surviving off the exploits for so long. It's going to force them to play a new way. So they're going to stop for a year and they probably will say, okay, no, because usually casuals get mad when the game gets more sim. So they're going to stop spending money to so-called put it in 2K's pocket. But since they're so bought into 2K, they'll do it for a year. But the following year, 2K will probably recoup more money from the second year. They'll make so much money the second year, it'll replenish what they lost from the year one when they made the gameplay changes. I think they'll ultimately go back to it. Because believe it or not, what people like, they're always going to gravitate towards it. It doesn't matter how bad it is. It's kind of like you can have it, and I use this analogy a lot. You can have it with a bunch of flaws. The average person in this society, they're going to deal with that girl through thick and thin. It does not matter because she's gorgeous. With all those flaws, they're not going to let her go because she's a trophy piece. She looks good on your arm. You're interested in her because of the way she looks. The amount of time you spend with her, you're not going to let her go. As opposed to a girl who might be fair or, let's say, ugly, but got a lot of good qualities on the inside. They'll say, you know, no. I can always find better than you. I don't really need you. They'll drop her almost instantaneously because she wasn't what they're looking at. Because everybody needs this eye candy. What your eyes are set on, trust me, nothing's going to change the way you feel about it, whether they're bad or good. It will not. And most people love 2K.
And let me be fair. I like 2K an awful lot. This game, this year, the game looks so fluid. It looks like basketball. You know what I'm saying? Me and Nelson were getting in there like the first week. We're just amazed on how good it looks. But here again, like you mentioned, you know, it's a pretty girl with a fucked up attitude. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and you know what's funny, Kushmir? Not to interrupt you, but this is the part that I don't understand. It's almost like, bro, like that first month, man, 2K, I'll be in love with the game. The game feels so. It feels like even the rebounding, all of that shit worked. Like the first 3 weeks, it's like the moment, like that first
rebounding. We probably just didn't notice it. But go ahead.
We probably didn't notice it. Okay, because I'm talking about, I had some really good games like that first 3 weeks. Those first 3 weeks. And it just seemed like after like the first patch or so, it's like something's changing about it. Like it's almost like I'm losing control a little bit. It's like something's happening here now.
Right. Well, let me say this. I don't think, and this isn't anything, you know, I haven't done research to kind of make sure. This is anecdotal. Let me just say that. I think what happens is the game's fresh. You're kind of overlooking some of the stuff. When the savvy players start to be able to use those things to their advantage is when people start to notice. Like this year, the dribble penetration, that like it's like everyone is Iverson in his prime. You see what I'm saying? Like it's horrible. Like you got to play perfect defense. It's like you're defending Westbrook on every play. You see what I'm saying? Like It's ridiculous. It's another thing that breaks the game. You know, where you essentially, if you make any mistake at all, this person gets to the basket. They got this one animation where all the person is doing is pushing forward and pressing turbo, and the offensive players like flailing their arm out, like pushing you. Like, it's ridiculous.
Oh,
you see what I'm saying?
Animation, yeah, that's terrible, man.
Yeah, it is. But they didn't balance it at all. I would like to know, like, and one of the things I would like to know, it would be cool if the community could get an interview with 2K this year. It's something that I think we should all push for. You know, let's use. You see what the Star Wars fans did when they got the when they got that whole pay to win thing. They were like, "There's no way. This is ridiculous."
I think
it's not like we're being
one to follow through that though.
Say that one more time.
Sports gamers are the only ones that fall into that trap. Every other community, like you said, will be like, "No, we're not doing it." But you,
well, I think we just have to put our. We're not being mad. We're not saying 2K is a horrible game. I'm acknowledging how good the game is. What I'm saying though is the community wants a little more input. We'd like to know what went into the thought process of saying that dribble penetration at this level would be something that would be remotely acceptable. I'd like to know, you know, who made that decision and what was it based on? So, you know, that's why I'm proposing that community project come out with a top 10 list. We can vote on it. We can put it on Twitter, you know, just all of that stuff. But I think at the core of it is the fact that we deserve better. The game deserves to be better. And let me say this more importantly, and I put this in my article. The number one, actually, part 2 comes out tomorrow. The series. The first thing I put is that I believe, and I think this is true, that Play Now Online, Pro-Am, and Park should be 3 separate experiences. You know, they should not be the same experience. Play Now Online should be the most sim, should be a true sim. You know, as much as possible, as much as the game will allow. And so when we see the spam and all that crazy stuff, you know, the block time and dudes are coming down on top of you, they're not calling any fouls, like all that craziness, like that stuff should not be in the game.
No, I definitely agree on that. Definitely.
But to your point, you're talking about the blow by animations that you get now. I think, and this is a shot in the dark, last year's 2K, dribble penetration in general, like dribbling and blowing by somebody, was really difficult to do. Like, I think that was one of the top 10 things that were complained about by, I'm going to say, the casuals, because they're the ones that spend the most money on the game, et cetera, et cetera. They couldn't get through. One of the selling points for this year's game is that they got rid of the force fields, and a lot of people depended on said force fields to feel like they're good at the game. And I guess realistically speaking, everyone that had good stick on D, we knew, hey, tap the L2 button to get in front of somebody and you would shut them down or stop them from moving, et cetera, et cetera. I believe that force field itself was toned down in some way, but not even some way, shape, or form. That force field itself that we've gotten used to was toned down in some way, shape, or form to quote unquote simulate basketball as a whole, because you can't stay in front of anybody, or you don't see anybody stay in front of anybody anymore, except for the elite defenders. And because it's in video games,
do even they do it though? Like, I haven't seen it by anybody.
I mean, a couple of games after getting warm, I can stay in front of somebody. Okay. Fresh out the box, picking it up, getting online. Yeah, it's a little difficult to stay in front of somebody. And if you got good stick on, as far as dribbling is concerned, yeah, it's going to be a long day for me.
Right.
But if you don't have good stick in general, it's a little bit difficult to get through unless you're turboing through. But at that point, I'm playing in the back and I'm trying to contest it at the basket because I know what's going to happen. And it's been happening since what feels like day one of the game itself. But I do think that the dribble penetration is a byproduct of people complaining last year that the defense was too overpowered. And Zara said a couple of I think it was a couple of Sim Hangouts ago that the offense is years ahead of the defense in general. Just because he's been working on it longer than Scout OG has had the opportunity to work on defense as a whole. So there's always going to be that sense of a gap. And a lot of folks really don't want to play defense anyway. They believe defense is steals and block shots, but I mean, that's not what defense is.
No. No, you make a good point, and that's probably true, right? We can extrapolate that. The issue there is that no one in the league today possesses the ability to get to the basket as is currently displayed in NBA 2K18. No one. No one can get to the basket with the frequency that you can in 2K18. Nobody in the league can do that. And the other side of that that's kind of disconcerting is that, you know, that animation that we were talking about earlier, Future, where they just put their arm out like pushing you or whatever.
Drop the shoulder and just push through you.
Right. That one actually will draw fouls a great number of times. It's a foul animation. Like it'll be a blocking foul. The natural, the organic charges that were in the game last year, those aren't anywhere to be found. So not only was this ability to get to the basket put in there and it was given to anyone. I mean, I've seen people do it with Brooke Lopez, Frank Kaminsky. It's ridiculous. And those guys can't get to the basket. And the other thing is there's this one animation where the defender kind of redirects you. It just doesn't let you get straight to the basket. It kind of redirects you to the right and to the left, and it doesn't play nearly enough. So there's a number of counters in the game because let's be honest, you cannot put a dribble penetration mechanic in the game like that without saying, okay, what's an offensive foul? That should be your first question. What's an offensive foul going to be? And I don't mean, hey, I got to get in front of this guy and press circle. I'm talking about you're being too aggressive. The person is outside the restricted area. What's a foul? And you'll see those animations, but they just don't play enough. So it's not like the mechanics aren't in the game to resolve it, but they don't ever play. Those animations are rare. You just don't see them much at all.
That animation you're talking about was cheese last year, though. That drive by for the you get in front of somebody just pushing down turbo trying to get to the rack. You could tap the turbo button, whether or not you were going full speed ahead. There's a strong possibility that you could draw a charge. And the guy wouldn't. It wasn't like an animation where the guy would fall over, but you would see him take a good hit, and that'll be a charge. And that was one of the things that was complained about last year. That's not a charge. I'm like, okay, we'll stop holding down turbo. And like just to alleviate that, you know, they remove said force field that we've gotten used to playing with, and this is the byproduct of it. But there should be a counter for it. I agree. For every offensive tool that you're given, you should have a defensive counter for it. And I think that's one of the places that Live does better than 2K in that aspect. For everything that I see in Live, there's a counter for it. Whether or not you can use
balance
it that
is
well.
important. No. The balance is super important. They have these poke away animations when you're being too aggressive. The strip animations, they just never play. Like I saw it early in probably like the week 2 of the game where a guy was trying to drive over me with Kemba, and who was it? TJ McConnell. You know, he's coming at him. He just kind of pokes the ball away because he's being too aggressive. I might have seen that animation 2 or 3 times all year long. Now, consider how much people are forcing their way to the basket. For that animation to play 2 or 3 times, how often do you see strip animation? Come on. You see what I'm saying? It's so rare. Like, and that's why I save stuff when I see it, because I'm like, okay, I'm not going to see this again for a year. So, it just boggles my mind that all the mechanics to resolve it are in the game. They just don't use them, you know.
No, that's true. I definitely agree with you on that. Man, let's switch topics real quick, man, about the NBA, man. What do y'all think about Isaiah Thomas? Do y'all think that Isaiah Thomas will make an impact on the Cavs this season? The rest of the season?
No.
Wow. Yeah. That's a one-word answer, right? You're not gonna give us any more than that?
No, I think I don't. The whole thing with bringing in a ball dominant guard or something that play alongside LeBron, I don't think works all that well for him. Like with his game in general, he has seemed like he thrives better when he has people that he can just toss the ball to shoot. And 89.9% of the Cavs offense comes with him touching the ball. And if he doesn't touch the ball, they don't do well with it. To give him a break, so to speak, doesn't, and he's not really that great of a spot up shooter until this year, but I don't see them two being cohesive. And then it's late in the year too for them to be trying to build upon what it is they're trying to do for getting to the playoffs. I mean, of course they're going to make the playoffs, but you still need more time than what they have to put together said chemistry.
Okay.
What
about that, Chris?
Yeah, no, I think he makes some good points. I think the best point he made that's super relevant is familiarity. You know, how late you're doing it. You're trying to integrate this other star / superstar level player this late in the season. You're going to go through an adjustment period. I think that Thomas is a pure scorer enough that it could work, you know, kind of in some of the same fashion that it did with Kyrie. He's not Kyrie, but he has some really high level offensive one-on-one skills. I guess my bigger issue is he's a 5'11" guard that doesn't play defense.
Exactly.
You know, he's and the other thing is you got to remember, like, the summertime they were talking about the trades might not go through. Like, there was a lot of questionable stuff going on with health, and Thomas is what, 28, 29?
Yeah. One of those.
Okay. So, 5'11" guard, maybe 180 pounds soaking wet, hip issue. It sounds to me like Cleveland got fleeced. Now don't get me wrong. Isaiah Thomas has been a guy who's been doubted everywhere he goes, and every time he gets doubted, he proves everybody wrong. Here's the thing. There's going to be a time when he gets doubted. At some point, Father Time and injuries, they don't lose. They're undefeated. There's going to be a time that he doesn't come through. I hope this is not that time. But here again, like, just stuff we've heard, it just sounds real sketchy. I didn't understand it. To me, if I'm Cleveland, there's no way. Like, I send Kyrie as far away as possible. I don't care what Boston is offering. People are saying anything, and this person wants to be traded. It doesn't matter. Go to Sacramento. You're not staying in the Eastern Conference. You're not getting anything if you're going to force your way out, you're not going to get anything that it's not going to end how you think. Let me just say that. So I didn't understand that to begin with. Like, I guess they tried to make the best of a bad situation, but there's no way under the sun that I trade Kyrie to Boston for a 28, 29-year-old 5'11" guard who doesn't play defense, who may have hip issues going forward. Doesn't happen.
I definitely agree. I mean, I've been a big fan of Isaiah Thomas, man, dude. He's going to different teams and stuff, and he's always looked at, man, he's small. He's 5'11", pick number 60.
I don't even think he's 5'11". Y'all giving him about 3 inches. This boy about 5'8", 5'9".
5'8", 5'7".
No, you're right. I have heard 5'9". I've heard that. I'm sorry. I stand corrected.
Yeah, man. I just love his story, man. Like, the underdog.
Oh,
man.
yeah.
I always love the underdog.
For sure.
Man. I hope he does well, but I don't know. I'm not a Cavs fan anyway, so.
I mean, but the other part of it, too, is that if we think back to Boston and him taking off like he did, nobody expected Boston out the gate to be as good as they were last year. What we heard was talks as the season progressed that oh, they may have a shot, et cetera, et cetera. And then at that point, you started to believe as you saw them more. He's coming in a situation playing for the Cavs where it's championship or bust. So that's going to be extra pressure on a bad hip and the fact that he still has to get his legs under him, get his shot going, get his chemistry going with everybody else. That added pressure alone is going to be something else that we don't really account for. It's more or less like an X factor for him in general for the next, 3-4 months of trying to get everything back in order. Because he doesn't have a legit timetable to get back in order. Like they're like, oh, you're back on the floor now? Okay, we need our 28 points from you, bro. 28 points, 6 assists, and 2 steals a game. And we need that tomorrow when you play Portland in 12 minutes. Or you're not getting that huge contract that you're thinking about.
Right. That's my issue. Now, I differ a little bit on that, but I agree with most of what you said. To me, Thomas is like he's just an amazing offensive player. He's the kind of guy that, like, when you play pickup, the guy that don't need to warm up, he just gets in there and starts raining on cats. He seems like that. You know what I'm saying? He seems like that kind of player. But I agree that from the, because that's not how teams work. Teams work with chemistry. They work with familiarity. And so that's, to me, the bigger issue is how can you integrate him with everybody else? How are those growing pains going to look? If he's healthy, which is the thing I have my doubts about, I don't think he has a problem getting his shot, getting his offense, and being effective individually. But that's never been what determines success as a team, like ever.
Okay.
Are you taking Ben Simmons as the rookie of the year, or are you going to go ahead and rock with my man Kyle Kuzma?
Kuzma, huh? No. I'm a Philly fan, but even if I wasn't, I would have to go with Ben Simmons. But Simmons is, if you consider him a rookie, right? I think
they still considered it, right? Because he didn't play that.
Well,
first
no,
year.
they do. But I've just heard that. I've heard people say that. He's not quite. He's quote unquote a first year player. But yeah, I think he's been head and shoulders above everybody else. He has his limitations. We'll see how that works out. But I mean, he's kind of reset the bar for rookies. For him to be 17 points a game, 8 and 8, that's ridiculous.
You'll take him over Mitchell.
Yeah, Mitchell's more flash to me. I like Mitchell, but he's more flash. Like what's his shooting percentage? Hold on, Donovan Mitchell.
He's definitely killing this season.
I think it's low 40s. I want to say low 40s for him.
Yeah, I want to say low 40s too. Yeah. Well, let's see. Yeah, 44. That's 44 is not bad actually. But yeah, Mitchell I like, but I think Mitchell is that's kind of the underdog story. Like Utah lost Gordon Hayward, and so that feels good. But just raw impact and looking. Yeah, I can see that. I can see people saying it's closer. It's a lot closer than you think. I think Ben Simmons has been the best. Like when you look at his impact and the numbers he's putting up, but realistically, like you said, Mitchell looks good. Kuzma looks good, even though he's been kind of starting and then not starting. And now more recently, he's starting. And then let's be honest, like Tatum has looked real good as well. Like to me, it's a 4-horse race to the finish. I think, Ben Simmons is in the lead right now, but he can't go through a bad stretch. No one can go through a bad stretch that you easily drop out of that top 4.
Yeah, because I got Mitchell top right now, just because I believe that Ben Simmons' impact has been greatly improved because Embiid is playing like the monster that he is.
Okay.
And there's not a lot within Utah that is, when you say the Utah Jazz, I'm like, who are you talking about on Utah?
Oh, okay. You're saying the surrounding talent. Now, I like, even though what's his name? Who's the center in Utah? I'm sorry.
Exactly.
No. Yeah, yeah. Even though Rudy's been out, Rudy's good, but he's been hurt, right? But I hear what you're saying. There's definitely not as much flashy talent, but to me, that Utah team is a better veteran oriented team. Like, there's a lot of value to having a guy like and I know he gets a lot of flack, but what's the point guard's name in
Rubio.
Yeah, Ricky Rubio is a very, very solid point guard. You know, and there's a lot to be said for that. Having a veteran guy coming in there doing that. But I definitely hear what you're saying.
All right. Well, yeah, we about to wrap it up soon, man. You know, Venom got to.
I'm smooth, baby. I'm smooth. I'm smooth. They called earlier and was like, "We don't need you," and I'm like, "Well, you ain't got to tell me twice." So I'm here. Yeah, okay. They called earlier.
That's what's up. I just saw a tweet from Rashad79, man. My boy would be playing Pro-Am a lot, and he said that there's a video about a double dribble move. Somebody was teasing him in a game earlier today in the Pro-Am game, and he has a video sent me a link, so I'm gonna put the link up later on. But yeah, they just gotta fix little glitches like that, and they didn't call a walk when he was double dribbling. Like, he was just some kind of glitch where he was just double dribbling. Like, I'm like, what?
Yeah, you take I think you pump fake and then you can put the ball back on the floor, pump fake and put the ball back on the floor, and they don't. What was it? They had it last year because you used to be able to take 2 steps back when you come out of the dribble, and you could step back, tap square, step back, and then you get another step back. I'm like, wait, didn't he just jump stop?
Wow. Yeah, see, that's the stuff I'm not here for. I know there's so many moving parts because you're talking about the customization when you're talking about Pro-Am. And that's just the stuff that like, man, I'm just not here for it. You know what I'm saying? I'm just not here for it, man. So I hear that it's so animation driven, you know, like for so long you would hear stuff that were issues in there. Oh man, yeah, everybody's going to get the Kobe jump shot or the ankle breakers or this or that, and I was just like, God, like, what is that, man?
That's a part of being. That's a byproduct of us being a part of the information age. And I found this glitch. Let me put it on YouTube, and then 20,000 people are gonna go get said dribble package or jump shot till they patch it.
Exactly how it works.
But I think that's more or less to Gonzo's point too, that he was saying about people being calling the game itself trash or relying on exploits. So that's kind of one of the arguments that I had, that the game itself usually isn't that bad. On you have your issues, of course, it being a video game, but in that same breath, if I'm unable to exploit and that's what I relied on, this game is terrible because I need that edge to get back over somebody. Like speed boosting, that coming out the box and you had to be a certain level to do it. There was a lot of tweets of people talking about how trash the game was because I can't speed boost anymore. And it's like, but why are you speed boosting? If you are this accomplished player or things along those lines, why are you relying on said glitch to get your offense going or get your game going in general? It should be more or less an all-around thing. But I think that's also a byproduct of our age versus the other group of gamers that play. I want it fast versus I just want to work for it.
Right.
2K just gotta fix these issues, man. But hey, even though we complain about 2K, let's get it clear though, man. We still love 2K though. So I know some people might think that we hate 2K. It's like, no, we love it.
We know guys that don't like it though.
I mean, 2K it does so many, especially this game. Think about when the first week you were playing, it does so many things well, and that's why the bag things really stick out. You know, it's like putting, Yeah, it's like a Ferrari with no wheels on it. Like, what in the world, man?
It looks
what
good.
I'm saying? Like, yeah, it does, but you can't take it anywhere.
Nope.
And so that's the thing. Like, at the high levels, like when I got into before GOAT, what's right before the GOAT level on when you're playing online?
Oh, for Hall of Fame?
Hall of Fame. When I got into the Hall of Fame and GOAT, those were some of the worst games. When I tell you how bad people, like literally 80% of the people that I played, as soon as they saw that I wasn't like a fish, that I wasn't like one of these suckers that they was gonna run through, and that I started running plays, that's what you saw. Every play coming down was double team. You know, I guess they was running half court trap probably because that's when they start double team right at half court.
Mm-hmm.
Listen to me, man. Like that is gonna be that is a tactic in the game is embarrassing to me. On the heels of that was an issue in 2007. This is over 10 years later. Are we really still having this conversation? Like, how does that even work? And so that being that issue, but those are some of the worst games. And so after I've gotten to the GOAT queue, man, I was like, I'm gonna play something else because it was just that bad. Like the experience was horrible. It wasn't even fun.
No, not unless you play in the low tier, so you don't got to worry about as much cheese. I had a dude, I think he was playing Cleveland, and the play was glitchy as all get out, but he ran this 3-point play, ISO with LeBron, and I had to make a decision. If I didn't use her, who was it? I think he had his 3-point shooter coming off of double screens. If I didn't use her, that guy was open, and LeBron had that blow-by animation on anybody, then he was dunking at the rack and you weren't stopping him, or it was an and one foul. So I feel you. Is once you get to the high level, it's like, oh, I'm good. Like, no, you just found something to exploit within the game, and that has you believing that you're good.
My goodness. Yeah, like, and it's just horrible, man. Like, playing against those guys, it's just, listen, it's horrible. Like, the games are trash.
Mm-hmm.
That's just the reality of it. Like, it's not even fun. Every play is a full court pass. You're coming down, they're spamming steal the whole time. After Future, I saw this one new glitch, and it's funny because I addressed the what was it the deflect block today. You saw that thread that I put out, related to that. So what I'm seeing, what I saw the guys, because I only play the test stuff now. I just get my videos and I get the hell out of there. That's how bad it is. But one of these guys, I just sat there and just shook my head. So what he would do is he would trap you, but right before he would trap, he would jump. Right? He would now think about that. He hits block right before his trap is coming, so that you can't shoot. And if you pass the ball, he might deflect it. You see what I'm saying? Like, how ridiculous is that? And just think about that. Like, in the league, you see some guys, they'll go over the top of screens and guys will reach out and grab them and they'll act like they're shooting the ball. Right? That's how they've essentially, taken out that kind of, they've neutralized that kind of physical play, because as soon as you you go over the screen and you grab them, they're shooting the ball so that they get a foul call. But you can't do that. You can't do that. So literally, you're just and it's so funny because somebody told me recently that they were like, oh, all you got to do is fake pass and you'll get another second. Like, it kind of glitches the double team, so you have more time to find somebody. And I was like, I don't play the game like that. And that's what happens with cheese. Cheese begets cheese. You're getting cheese, so now you got to come up with cheese to counter the cheese. Yep. And I'm not interested in that. Like, that's not why I play the game. Me at the core, that's a red line for me. Like, when I'm playing you, I'm playing you. I'm not looking for the loopholes in the AI. This I know is, works really, really well. I'm not doing any of that. And the reason that it kind of boggles the mind or really, really surprises me is because they did such a good job. I think both of you guys agree with this. So the sideline glitch was something that I didn't see last year that much, but I did see it, right? Guys would run along the sideline. As soon as you kind of nudge them, they draw a foul, right? The way they resolve that is the way that you resolve any kind of exploit like that. You add other outcomes, right? And so what they did was they added an outcome and it was 50%. You didn't know whether you're going to get a foul, or you didn't know whether they were just going to call you out of bounds. So exploiters, people, savvy players are going to do that. That's why they use it, because they know they're going to get a single outcome, right? You get that single outcome, and they can go ahead and trigger that outcome. They're going to do it as much as possible, over and over and over and over and over. That's why, like I said, when you don't add negative outcomes to steal spam, to double teaming, like double teaming, you could break that so easy. You could like triple the fatigue cost, have a contact foul and a reaching foul outcome. I guarantee you dudes would stop spamming that automatically. You see what I'm saying? But when you have a single outcome, that's exactly what the cheeser looks for. I got the single outcome. All I got to do is trigger this, and that's the only outcome that I'm going to get. And it surprises me that they were savvy enough to say, okay, look, this single outcome was really breaking the game with the sideline cheese. No problem. We'll add some more outcomes, and those will play just as much. Now you can't depend on that. So I don't understand why you don't do that with every potential spam element that's in the game. Treat them all that way.
Right. No, I agree wholeheartedly. You muted.
I agree.
There you go.
Yeah, we about to wrap it up though, real quick though, man. Yo, man, you have any last shout outs, Christmas, man? For the pleasant, man. Pleasure.
Oh yeah. It's always coming in here, kicking it, talking sports with you guys and gaming and all the rest. I always have a good time. So shout out to you. Shout out to the whole panel. Shout out to SimNation. Here again, guys, we have to get on this community project. We talk a lot of times about how sports gamers won't do a certain thing. Let's undo that, right? Let's reject that. Let's do the other thing. Let's get together, and we're not rallying against 2K. We're saying we're asking 2K and the devs to be their best selves, right? We're not saying, hey, you guys do a terrible job. We're saying, hey, you guys do a great job. These are the things that you may or may not be doing well, that you might be missing. We'd like to know more about this. This is what we're saying is important. And we're not saying you got to fix every legacy issue the first time you hear about it. We're saying, hey, develop or use some resources in eliminating legacy issues every year.
Great. You have a Twitter and your website, man. What's the website called? So I can put the link out.
Yeah, the blog that I write for is spgmg.blogspot.com, and that's just the sports gaming blog that Bruce came out with. And then my Twitter is just my name, Kushmir, Kushmir. I don't tweet as much. I'm more of a reader of Twitter, but yeah. If you hit me with some interesting conversation, I'll definitely engage and I'll respond. I'm not too good to go back and forth with the community and kick it with SimNation.
Appreciate it, bro, man. You're welcome here every time, man. Anytime, man. Every Monday night.
Oh, no doubt. I appreciate that, bro.
Venom.
Yeah.
You have any last words, bro?
Shout out to you guys, man. Always keeping me on my toes. Kushmir in here making me think outside the box as he handing out life lessons when it comes to this 2K game. I think that's it, man. I would say shout out to Spaz, but he didn't want to show up today talking about he grinding or whatnot. Yeah, I'm calling him out. But shout out to Gonzo too. That they said they always keep me on my toes and have me making sure that I bring facts when I come along with what I believe to be true.
Yeah. You have a Twitter, bro, and your Twitch?
Yep. So my Twitter is at @weare_venom90. I think the Twitch is the same thing too. You'll see me grinding this pro-am thing, and you'll also see me whining and playing play now when pro-am gets too messed up here, bro.
All right, man. And yo, I'm looking at the chat, man. Yo, shout out to everybody in the chat, man. Lil Spaz 57.
Stop shouting them out.
Sam I am. Who else? Zach Madrid, what up? Gideon. Who else was here?
Sam,
yeah, Big Sauce.
Infinite Wisdom. It's kind of active in here. D-Dog. The Slider. Who else? I don't want to miss nobody. It's Adrian Boy and Zachary McBride, man. Shout out to everybody of them. Big Sauce, what up, man? Shout out to you, bro. And yo, I forgot to mention that Brian, I don't know if y'all know the Forbes guy, Brian, what's his name? Mazik, yeah, shout out to him, man. He did a Forbes article today, and the video, he mentioned me when I did the 2K resume hashtag for the whole NBA 2K League thing, man. I'm grinding for, man. So he mentioned me about that. I put the article. I think I retweeted it, but yeah, shout out to him. And I'm gonna be grinding for this whole NBA 2K League thing. Definitely gonna see what happened to that. And follow me on Twitch, twitch.tv/NYCDaFuture. And yeah, we on here every time, every Monday nights, 8:00 p.m. Eastern.
No doubt, no doubt.
Yeah, shout out to everybody, man. Gonzo, shout out to him, and yeah.
I said, don't shout out Spaz no more.
And yes, so of course, SimNation All day, SimNation Hangouts every Friday nights at 10:00 p.m. Eastern. All right, so
for sure.
Let's get it. I know they definitely want to see you, Chris Mayer, back on SimNation Hangouts, so definitely.
Yeah, you know. The Fridays is usually, well, yeah, sometimes mostly internet issues, but Friday's just a bad night for me. But I hollered at Zara to tell him a Happy New Year today. So I'm gonna try to make it again, but Fridays is sometimes kind of squirrely for your boy, man. It's all good though.
Okay, yeah, of course. And yeah, Nelson, all of them, man. So many names to shout out, but yeah. Happy New Year, everybody.
Yeah, double bicep shot. Here we go.
All right, y'all. Peace.